Okay, so this is a continuation of my 1958 Edsel transmission shifter called a teletouch transmission. So back in the day, again, the transmission shifter was on the steering wheel. You pressed each button, and it sent an electrical signal down to the servo motor, which was attached to the transmission, and that would shift the transmission. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to convert this to a new age system. So here's my hodgepodge of wires and all sorts of stuff. But basically, what I have is I have a 9-volt battery, which connects up to the group of 9-volt negative connectors. So each of these guys here is a USB 12-volt to USB power for like a car adapter. So on one side would have been the cigarette lighter plug adapter, and on the other side is the USB port. So these are really useful for taking any sort of 12-volt power, and in this case I'm using 9 volts, which works out really well because they actually work on 9 volts. And then what it does is it converts, so the input is 12 volts, the output here is 5 volts. So what I've done is I've taken all these USB cables, and on each and every one of them I've cut the black wire and the red wire. So the red wire is going to be wired up to an extension so that I could use it, and the black wire is going to be bundled together, and I'm going to link them all into, you can see here, this connector goes to the ground. I'm using a red wire there because I ran out of all the other colors, but essentially it goes to the blue side, which is the ground side. So that's 5-volt ground, which grounds out to the computer. So this provides the 5-volt ground. The 5-volt positive side, which is this wire here, in my testing, what I'm doing is I'm connecting it up to one of these guys here, which then goes to the digital input. And when the digital input side gets a 5-volt plus, then it moves the servo motor. So this servo motor is just a test motor. It's going to be a linear servo. And again, this whole system is basically a test system. It's just for prototyping. But so the rundown is 12-volt comes into the cigarette lighter plugs. These will all be bundled together. 5-volt comes out. So when one of the buttons gets pressed on the steering wheel, that sends a 12-volt signal to one of these 5 connectors. So then they provide 5 volts. As soon as they get power, they provide 5 volts to the signal board here, and the Arduino then sends that through this green wire right there out to the servo motor. So the proof of concept works, and all of these guys here were basically scavenged and found. I did buy a couple of them, so it's like $20. I do have the servo motor on order. It's on its way to my house, and I'll be hooking that up next, and also cleaning up these wires and everything once I get it. So thanks for watching, and I'll do an update soon.